Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. How you doing? What a weekend we've got lined up here, I hope you're good. What we'll do today, we'll just have a quick look back at the racing through the week. We've got a few performances of note there. And yeah, mainly we'll be going to be looking at the racing this weekend at Dublin. We'll start out though, I'll just start out by giving a shout out to one of our ramblers there, one of our fellow ramblers, Benjamin. He flagged up Sky Bet were doing a special offer 7-4 Constitutional and El Fabiolo double. That went on run and no bet as well, and I think the best it was on anyway, best price, non run and no bet anywhere else. So that one day, I was kind of working it out. I thought I pinned it to the top, hoping people might notice. And I was thinking if like 25% of ramblers, I think it was max 20. You could have your fivers on it or whatever stakes you like playing. But I was thinking, yeah, if like 25% of us ramblers all had 20 quid on that, that's 800 at 7-4. So that's £1,400 would be taken off Sky Bet collectively. I like that. That gives me a nice warm feeling. I know them numbers might be a bit optimistic, but humour me, yeah, it's nice. So yeah, we'll just look back at a few performances. Then Monday, Punchestown, heavy. 2 mile maiden hurdle, another way beat Katana Zapata 12 lengths here. Jumped off in second behind Touch Me Not, took it up between the last two and quickly went clear. Jumping was shoddy, but he does look a nice horse. I think Connections might have mentioned the Ballymore for him. And we've got a 2.5 mares maiden hurdle. Bioluminescence beat Therese just over 3 lengths. She was always close up, travelling well, took it up between the last two and stayed on well for a workmanlike victory. She's a lovely, big, scopy looking individual. I'd say she might have a bit of strengthening up to do. She's a walk in the park out of an old Victon mare, and she doesn't really do anything quickly, but she should make a lovely staying chaser in time. 2.5 mile maiden hurdle, a Bella Ricky Dicky beat Find a Fortune 11 lengths. He settled in third. He was allowed to drop back into fourth with 3 to jump. He was asked to close on the turn for home. He smoothly took it up on the approach to the last and lengthened away nicely on the run in there. The form's nothing special. In fact, the time it was over 4 seconds slower than Bioluminescence over course distance, although he did carry £5 more. Connections think he'll be better on better ground, and he does look nice. He jumped well here on debut. He could be Ballymore bound, and he'd be a fascinating contender there. Yeah, he does look to have a bit of class about him. And the last race to mention at Punchestown, 2.5 mile rated novice hurdle, built by Ballymore, beat Silver King 12 lengths. Now, for much of the race he spent in rear, and he didn't always look to be going great, but he came through powerfully late on, and he was strong in the running. So he won Limerick every, didn't he? He's won every year. The ground could be important to him. The same Connections have gone close in the Coal Cup the last couple of years. And certainly if he got his ground there, he'd be interesting. The Connections also have took the Thyestes recent times, and you could see this fell in a Thyestes at some point in the future. He does look a lovely sort of chasing type, and he obviously relishes this heavy ground. Right then. And just one more there. We got to mention this one. Mr. Giff beat Ballycannon King 18 lengths. He jumped off in front and never saw another rival. He jumped fantastically over these easy fix hurdles. They kind of look like baby fences, don't they? He took off after the last, and he didn't stop at the line. He just kept running. The jockey could not pull this guy up, which at Limerick Heavy you don't see that very often. He's probably still going round. Yeah, this were good. He just loved it, didn't he? He just loved jumping and running. I think we're gonna have to call this fella Forrest. Yeah, we'll call him Forrest. I've got to give a shout out here to another rambler, another shout out. Rob the Old Mongoose, class name. He's backed this fella 40-1 for any race at Cheltenham. That's just inspired, isn't it? There's some clever ramblers out there is. I wouldn't mind being sat on that ticket, Rob. The owners were playing this form down a bit. They pointed out the second were just rated 106 and they'd need another run to see if he's up to Cheltenham or not. Funny enough though, he also needs one more run to get qualified for the handicaps. This is the same race Stateman won. Yeah. I did have a look there. I thought this fella could be interesting for like a county or a Martin Pipe. You don't miss a trick, these bookies, do they? 10-1 non-runner no bet. I think you might be able to get 12s for the county. That's something to ponder, it is. It might even be worth that. I were impressed with him, yeah. Old Forest. Right then, just before we get to the DRF, we've got the Silly Owls, haven't we, at Sandown, 2:35, 2.5 mile grade 1. Hermes Allen goes here. He followed up an impressive chase debut by chasing home that French wonder horse when he was stepped up to 3 mile in the Corto Star, grade 1 at Kempton round Christmas time. I thought he ran a big race there, he did. I don't think he did anything wrong, he just bumped into a bit of a monster, didn't he? I think he looks a class apart from his rivals here, and I think anything odds against, which he is, I think, at the moment, I think that's a fair bet, I do. He'd be a confident selection for that. Right then, the big one, the DRF. Right. We're going to bear witness here to some fantastic racing, aren't we, at Leopardstown this weekend. It's the best 2 days racing in it outside of Cheltenham in March, this. So a couple of things to know before we get into the races. I mentioned Willie before, how we were going. A little like Gordon in Down Royal early season, this is Willie's playground. He's 23 out of 51 in the last fortnight for 45% strike rate, and that's, you know, he often has multiple runners in a race, doesn't he? That's just jaw-dropping, it is. That's some strike rate. The stable's on fire. Paul as well. Paul, he's 14 out of 20 in the same time period for a 70% strike rate. So this is kind of ominous for the rivals, isn't it? Now, if you play the short price sort of Willie favourites in trebles and accas and stuff, you have got a chance here. You have, more than usual, I'd say. Last year he did have some turnover, but the year before they pretty much all obliged. So there is a little mileage in that if you fancy lumping a few of them together. I won't put you off. I would say I do think it looks a little bit tricky. I won't be getting too carried away myself with the betting, but there are some races, you know. But yeah, I won't be going mental like here. But I will have a play and keep it sensible. Right. Gamble responsibly and all that, you know. But yeah, do, because, you know, it is a bit tricky, it is. Right then, 120 race, 2 miles, 6.5, grade 1, Nathaniel Lacey, novice hurdle. Smash into the favourite. Right. I don't see much pace on in this race, and I think the likes of Lachlan, Stella Story, Dancing City, they look out and out 3 mile stayers to me. As a result, they might, I think, struggle a little in this. I would say Stella Story's best bumper form from last year came on yielding when he got the better of Atlantique. And his 3 hurdle runs this year have come with heavy in the ground, so he could improve for a bit of better ground. But even so, yeah, I can see him getting in the mix. But I'd expect the winner to come from one of Predator's Gold, Jatara, and I Will Be Bay. Now, I Will Be Bay were impressive on hurdles debut, beating Trump Card, who then went on to narrowly beat Dr. Eggman. He could be anything, he could. He did look good last time. Paul rides Predator's Gold here though, and he were impressive on his hurdles debut over 2.5 mile. He looked a classy stayer with a turn of foot that day, and I just think he'll be perfectly suited to the demands of this race. He then went on and came second at Christmas, didn't he, in that 2 mile grade 1 on desperate ground, but he ran with plenty of credit there, and he showed some determination as well. You know, Jatara, she's a rapidly improving mare. You don't know where, when mares improve like this, you never quite know where they're going to finish. And she does get £7 here. I've had a little saver on Jatara. I think the favourite will take a bit of beating here, and he'd be my most sort of confident bet on the first day. Predator's Gold, yeah. Right then, 150, 2 mile grade 1 spring juvenile. Interesting to know, well supported ante-post Salvador Monday is not lining up here. I've not read anything. Like you might know, I'm not on Twitter or X or whatever it is, or out like that. I've not seen anything, but I'd imagine my thoughts would be after Sergino last week that Willie's maybe holding this fella back for the Supreme next season, because he's still a maiden, isn't he? So he could still be a novice next year. And if Sergino waltzes in the Triumph, he would look to have a good contender there for the Supreme next season. That's my thoughts anyway. So to this race then, Stormheart, he's very impressive on debut. It could be anything, but you could say the same for many of his rivals here. Personally, I couldn't be taking such a short price. What is he, 6-4? There's too many unknowns here. I'd rather have a play on something else. Masborough. Now, way back we had a point on this fella, didn't we, at 20s for the Triumph. The reasoning were, on Willie's stable tour, he were very positive about this fella. He gave him as one to follow. He said he looks like a 5-year-old already compared to these others. you'd imagine that some advantage physically, maybe. And also his run in France, that were impressive. He was real impressive from the back of the last there, and you'd imagine he'd eat that hill at Cheltenham. That's why we had the point on him at 20. It's a bit speculative, like, but here he is. Now, yeah, if he's going to beat Sergino, he'd probably got to be taking this. And it's a big task, isn't it, on debut, really, for the season. But, yeah, he's my player anyway, Madgeborough. I've just had a small bet on Madgeborough, and we'll see how we go there. He's been well backed, so, you know, the vibes seem to be good. Right. Now, if things have gone to plan and Willis took the first grade ones there, the first two, he might have it all on here to make it 3 in a row. Pardon me, I'd say. Oh, I do apologise as well. I'm kind of dying of cold here, so I might sound a bit muffly. I might have a sneeze or two at some point. I don't know. So, right, yeah. 225, 2 mile, 1, grade 1, Irish Arkle. Yeah. Marine National, top class, unbeaten, took the Supreme last year. Chase debut, moved like a gazelle, jumped like a cat. He did. It was impressive. Found a 50. He looks to be better with a lead. He's a bit unhinged, I'd say, but he's much improved for fences, and he did take the grade 1 at Christmas. Ilate Tomps bolted in at this meeting last year in a grade 1. He's tongue-tied for the first time. He liked the drop-in trip. He ran behind Gaelic Warrior last time. He's a big price. He is. The special one, Facile Vega. Right then. He was good first time out. I'll say, as we said at the time, the fences seemed to settled him down. He weren't as keen, which meant he had more petrol after the last. He looked powerful after the last. I thought he'd improve for fences there. I'm sure he has. Last time out, now some may disagree, but it's the ground. It is. Now, we broke his form down there, didn't we, a little while back. He got away with it first time out. They often get away with it first time out when it's sort of goodish, a bit quick for them. The second time he hit that ground, so he swept all before him in bumpers, didn't he? And then he went to Punchestown and he beat Redemption Day that day. Now, Redemption Day that day, he pushed him all the way. He had to like quicken and quicken and quicken again. And I think he felt that he did. He pushed him to a place that was tough for him. And I think since then, when he hits that ground, he just doesn't let himself down on it. Okay, he won a 1-9 on hurdles debut, similar ground, but you know, he's just having a jog round there. Last season, when he hit ground like that again at this meeting, he blew out. And it happened again at Christmas time. I think just when it gets that quick, just in the later stages, he won't let himself down. You can disagree with me, everyone can have their own opinions, that's fine. You'd be wrong. But that's it, I think. Now, you know, the ground is drying out, isn't it? It is drying out this weekend. So, I don't know, I think they would do a bit of rain today. It could be on the edge for him, I'm not sure. If there's any good in the ground, no, No, but if he gets a bit of dig, he don't need it heavy, he just needs a bit of dig there. If he does get a bit of dig, yeah, we're on. We are. Now, over hurdles, I'd say he's got a stone to find with Marine National. The way Marine National took to fences last time, you'd have to say he's probably still got a stone to find with him, you know. But I do think he has improved, and hopefully he can show it tomorrow. The only question mark we said with Marine National is he's always had this big elongated breaks between his races, 50 odd days I think it were. It's coming here after 38 days off, and then it'll be another 38 days to the Arkle in Cheltenham. There's no reason he can't do that. It seems a reasonable amount of time to have off, but it's just something he's not done before. I don't know, by design or just how the way it's gone. And he is, at the end of the day, he's going from a beginners to a grade 1, and these are novices, aren't they? We're convinced you. Not convinced myself. Facile Vega, he is the selection here, but granted, it's more in hope than expectations. I've just had a small bit on him. If the ground's okay for him, I'll expect he'll run a big race, and that, you know, you just want to see him run a big race here. If he gets beat a few lengths, even like 3, 4, 5 lengths, fine, but you just want to see him run that big race. And then if he's going into the Arkle with one horse to beat, it's just one horse to beat, and anything can happen, can't it? The pace of the race is going to be interesting. Can't really see much pace on it. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with the pace. Marine National could go on, although, you know, you kind of think he's the quickest horse, so he won't mind taking a lead. He'll just think, go as slow as you want, and I'll do you for a turn of foot, like, you know. So you might see Paul might jump Facile Vega out here and try and make it a bit of a test. We'll see. Just a small bet on the last two. Match bring them. The first race, a bit more confident with that. Right, then 3 o'clock, 3 mile handicap hurdle. Willie's got the favourite here. Yeah, every chance. There's 3 JP horses, 9 Graces, took the eye last time, ran a nice race. You could pick several here and miss the winner. So I think I'm just having one bullet at this. I've already played it. It's one of the JP horses, Park of Kings, and I've done this each way. It's been well supported from an opening 33s. He's been crying out for a step up in trip. 3 mile, going from 2 to 3. You don't know if he's quite going to get the 3. I was thinking, you know, I'm looking for him going 2.5, but he might love it. You don't know. And he has got some experience into him now, so he's got a little bit of toughness about him. It's JP's here. He's off 10 stone 3. Connor Stone Walsh taking off 5. He's off a flyweight. That's my play here. Parker Kings each way. I may just have a small little bit on 9 Graces. Ran nice race last time. Came wide off the bend. Looked like a run to kind of qualify for the Potemps. I may have a small little bit on that, but it's not a race to get too heavily involved in this. 3:35 Irish Gold Cup. Galloping Deschamps and Faster Slow. Look, the 2 horses to concentrate on here. Faster Slow's beat Galloping the last twice, but that weren't the Galloping we saw at Christmas weight. And I do like Faster Slow, I love the horse, but this looks all about Galloping, doesn't it? He was just awesome at Christmas. That was special. And yeah, it could have been flattered a bit by the ground. Even so, he's on a different planet when he's like that, I think, to any other staying chaser. 4:10, 2 mile Ryanair handicap chase. I weren't too fussed about that race, so we'll move on. The closer there, the 4:40 Grade 2 Future Stars bumper. You've got a Dream to Share and Redemption Day in here. Should they be here? I don't know. It seems a bit wrong, really. I mean, a Dream to Share won all the Grade 1 bumpers last year, won this last year. I don't know. There's a load of unknown quantities in here. A Dream to Share. Oh, he's had an hold up, isn't it? First run at season and that. He's round about even money. Won't be for me, but say he could win. Redemption Day, strong chance, obviously. I just had a small bit of change on Jeroboam Machine. Emmett Mullins around 16-1. He beat the ill-fated DB Cooper, an easy 4 lengths plus, who then went on to run no flies on him to length and 3/4 in a hot looking maiden, so that looks good for him. I just had a little bit of change on that. Right then, Sunday. So yeah, in summary, I think my strongest bet on the first day is Predators Gold in the first. I had a little pop on that JP horse in the 3 mile handicap each way, Parker Kings, and yeah, generally I won't be getting too carried away with the rest of the card. Sunday, we open up 12:42 mile 2 Paddy Mullins Mares handicap hurdle. JP's wrist bell goes here for Willie. I thought she looked much improved first time up. She ran a good race behind Jatara. I think the drop back from 2.5 mile on better ground will suit. She travelled well into the race last time and just didn't look to get home. I think she's still on a good mark, been looking for a dropping in trip. She fell in this last year when going well. She's obviously off a much higher mark now, but yeah, I think she's my sort of selection here. I think she's round about 4-1. It's competitive, as you'd expect. Foxy Girl. This could be about banger distance. 2-2. Feet of a Dancer's well regarded. There's others in here. But yeah, wrist bell for me. And she could be well back. She was absolutely smashed up last time. She just didn't get home. I'm thinking Sunday the ground might be drying out quite a bit as well. That would maybe suit her. Make it less of a stamina test sort of thing. Alright then, 1:10, 2 mile 5.5 Grade 1 novice chase. This is a cracking race, isn't it? This is an exciting race to watch. Gaelic Warrior, he goes left-handed here for the first time over fences this season. He looks a monster over fences, he does. But, you know, his left-handed form reads very different to his right-handed form. I'll be taking Factor File on here, the Gaelic Warrior on here with Factor File, sorry. And we've got a great opportunity for an ante-post bet here. This is where the ante-post bet comes in. Now, we're already on Factor File for the Turners, aren't we, and the Browns. I think we've got 2 points 14s Turners, 2 points Browns 28s. Right, if Factor File wins this, he's after beating the sort of even money favourite for the Turners there, isn't he? I think if Factor File wins this, he'll go Turners. I'd imagine he will. And he'd be about 7-4 for the race. If he gets beat in this, he'll be going Browns. So the player, the smart bet, I think, will have 3 points, 5-1, 365, non-runner, no bet, important, for factor file for the Turners. Yeah, like I say, to me the only way he runs in the Turners is if he beats Gaelic Warrior here. And if he beats Gaelic Warrior here, he'll go to Turners and he'll be about 7-4, I'd imagine, after this. So I think that's a good opportunity for us. Right. And yeah, he'd be my selection here as well. I'll have a little play on factor file and see if Gaelic Warrior beats himself or not. Yeah, he does look a cracking horse himself, factor file. Willie thinks the world of him. Last time, I'm thinking he does look more a 3-miler. But like I say, Gaelic Warrior could beat himself here, we'll see. Grange Clare West is in here, and he does look a bit of value, to be fair. He does. But the selection here is factor file. Yeah. Right, 140. 2-mile grade 1 novice hurdle. No flies on him's not here, is it? We had a nice ticket at 14s, and yeah, I'm a bit gutted he's not here. He's going to punch us down in a little while. It's a shame because I were looking forward to seeing him here, but there you go. As it is, Ballyburn's even money favourite. He could win this. I'd imagine they're going to kick him out in front and make it a bit of a test, like how you'd imagine they'd ride him in a Supreme. I think they're going to try and find out if he's a Supreme horse or not here. So I imagine he'll go from the front. I think I've got a good bet here. Good bet. I think a good, solid each way bet. Right. Yeah. And the bet is King of Kingsfield. He's around, you can get 11-1 at the minute, top price. We'll go each way, King of Kingsfield. He's like 3 times the price of Farron Glory. I think Farron Glory is like 100-30. He finished a length and a half behind Farron Glory in the Grade 1 Royal Bond. He led after 2 out there on really bad ground. And this horse does pull himself up when he hits the front. Now, last time out, they've kind of sussed how to ride him now. Last time out, they just dropped him in behind Murazor West, and he came through late on. He was maybe a bit flattered in that race, just the way Murazor West, he went off like a loony, didn't he? And, he would kind of, set the race up for a closer. So he was maybe a bit flattered by that. But still, they found the key to riding him here. I expect Ballyburn to go on. His other rivals, they're all going to come and have a go at Ballyburn. And this fella is just going to be dropped in last. I think they'll go a good pace. He's going to be dropped in last. And on the better ground, he's just going to come through, approaching the last, and he's going to try and drop him in on the line there. As such, he's going to be ridden to pick up the pieces and be delivered with a chance of winning. So I think he's a cracking each way better too. Slade Steele's in this. He's a good horse. He is. He's a nice sort of price, 7-1 or so. He'll have his fans at that, but yeah, he's my player. King of Kingsfield each way. I think he looks overpriced to me. He reminds me, this fella, a little bit of Abracadabra's, the same connections had a few years ago. He just got nailed, didn't he, by Shishkin in the Supreme. So that's that race. 210, 2-mile 1, Grade 1 Dublin Chase. We see the beast here, El Fabiolo. yeah, he wins this, enough said. If he weren't here, I'd have been liking Gentleman to me, I think, to turn that form round with Dino Blue. But maybe, you know, if he's going to be there, isn't he, and El Fabiola's going to come through, and El Fabiola will probably just break him, so I won't be so keen on playing like him to be definitely second. We'll just sit back and enjoy watching El Fabiola here. I thought his jumping were better first time up. There's always that. He's not an easy watch. You always got your heart in your mouth a little bit watching this fella. But I did think he jumped better first time out this year. And yeah, El Fabiola. 2:45, 2 mile, grade 1, Irish champion hurdle. Stateman wins. There's not much more to say, is it? Stateman just wins. He's just a machine. He's a winning machine. I think Impera Pass will run better, and I can see Impera Pass getting closer to Stateman. It's nice to see Bob here, and I hope he runs well too. But yeah, if he could have the mortgage on anything this weekend, which don't, but he'd be the one wanting his Stateman. Right then. 3:20, 2 mile, 5.5, Leopardstown handicap chase. This is the best 2.5 mile handicap chase of the season. It's a cracking race. I've been excited for this. I've had 3 names in my head for this, and I did play them all ante-post. Thankfully they're all here. Right, I played the 3. I did the 3 I mentioned in my last video. We've got Hartwood here, 10 stone 1. He looks kind of chucked into me off 136. He does. 10 stone 1, Rachel Blackmore, 136. He kept on to be beaten 2 and 3/4 lengths behind Grange Clare West, who then went and took the grade 1 at Christmas. He did get beat 8 length behind, maybe 9 length behind Blood Destiny, but he were giving Blood Destiny £8, and he were running for his handicap mark that day. If he were mine anyway, he wouldn't have been trying too much that day. Yeah, Blood Destiny's disappointed since, but I don't think that was the same Blood Destiny we saw this day. You know, I think he's ran behind 2 kind of grade 1 performances on the day anyway here, and he's off 136. Wow. I know the way you're thinking. Well, we've been tracking this fella for an handicap all season. This is it. This is his day. He's run behind Imagine under a interesting ride first time out, and then he's bumped into Gaelic Warrior the last twice. I do think the handicapper's been a little harsh on him. He's getting 144 here. His hurdles mark were 137. This is £7 higher than his hurdles mark. But he's a sort of horse I'd just have, I'd shoot myself if I didn't have a little on him, and he won this. So we'll have him on our side. James de Burley, yeah, we noted him. He ran a cracker in that big 3 mile handicap at Christmas. He looked to just not quite get home to me. That was his first handicap and first time tongue-tied. I think the drop-in trip, this looks bang on for him, it does. And Willie is hot, isn't he? These 3 stand out for me, they do. I did play them all. You could at the prices. I think you can maybe still as well. And the way I played it personally, if we were doing a points thing, I kind of had like 3 points Hartwood, 2 on I Know the Way You're Thinking, and I had a point on James de Burley, so like 6 points. I made Hartwood the biggest price. I made him the biggest bet. I think his 9s last time I looked were the best price. I think that's alright, but yeah. And that's a race to look back on with interest. You wouldn't be surprised if the winner of the plate comes out of this race, although maybe it won't be the winner. What's the JP horse? Percival Gelway's in here. Be interesting to see how he goes. He could be interesting for like the Kim Muir. Sorry, excuse me. Right, yeah, sorry about that. Right then, yeah, be interesting to see if he jumps better. Yeah, it would be a race to look back on this. Right, 350, 2 mile Liffey handicap hurdle. Good luck if you're trying to get out in this one. Yeah, I'd keep stakes small here. I would. I've not fully decided this race, to be fair, yet. Zenta takes my eye. You know, she ran well to be beaten 2.5 lengths behind Lossiemouth in the Triumph Hurdle. That looks good form. We've seen what Lossiemouth's done since. Zarat the Brave, I think, got beat a similar distance by Lossiemouth at Punchestown and then went on to take the Galway Hurdle. She's off 138 here. She had one run over fences. Maybe didn't enjoy it. Interesting, the bringing her back to hurdles here. Yeah, I like her. She takes the eye. So I think I'll have a little on her. And maybe just a small little bit of change on Bailey Stock. Also for Willie. He's got won a big 2 mile handicap at Punchestown. He ran well in the Royal Bond just behind Antubber. I'm not so keen on Antubber. I'd rather take this fella, I think. So yeah, in this race, I'll keep it small, but I'll have a bit on Zenta and a little bit less on Bailey Stock, I think. And then we finish off 2 mile grade 2 mares. Bumper. Aurora Vega. Facile's little sis goes here. This has been a target all season. There's a load of unexposed horses here. I wouldn't say this is a smash up job if you've not had a good weekend. I still won't be trying to get out here, but she's the bet and I'll have a little bet on her. Yeah, I will. And that's that. So good luck, enjoy the weekend. We'll need probably 2 flasks next week, won't we? It might be Monday, it might take me a little while longer, it could be Tuesday, so I'll see you Monday or Tuesday. We should be getting our ante-post roundup done as well. We'll see if we can squash that in, or maybe we'll do it later in the week. But yeah, thanks for watching then, all the best, good luck, and I'll see you next week. Bye.